Hey, welcome to the Follow Through. I'm Pastor Fred, and you probably had this situation where you just sense that people don't like you. They might even hate you. Now, sometimes that's because you're being mean to them, and I get that. Sometimes we have bad days, and we get off on the wrong foot with someone, and they don't like us. But I'm talking about when you're really trying to be a good person. You're trying to be that loving, caring person, and yet people still just don't like you. And I'm not talking about everybody, but yeah, there's some folks. And today, the passage I want to look at kind of helps us to see for if you're a believer in Jesus, a follower of Jesus, you're going to go where he goes, you're going to do what he does, you're going to be like him. And Jesus says this in John 17, verse 14, another similarity that we have with him. He's praying to his Father, and Jesus says this, he says, I have given them your word, and the world has hated them because they are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. And so we are different, just like Jesus was different. Jesus didn't play by everyone else's games, right? He didn't, or anyone else's rules for that matter. It was the Father's rules. It was his rules as God in the flesh, man. He was not gonna take people, out and hurt them, but he was going to speak the truth and speak the truth in love. He was interested in what was going on with people's souls and in their hearts, and that's how he treats us, and that's what he thinks of us, and how he says, well, this is how the world's going to treat you, kind of how it treated me. They put Jesus on a cross, and they crucified him, and he suffered and he died, and the amazing thing about his love is that he did that willingly. You know what I mean? He wasn't taken off guard. This wasn't a surprise. This wasn't failure. This was success. Mission accomplished. He came to suffer. He came to die, to give his life, because that's what his love is all about. And let's face it, we live in a world that most of the time, man, just has no time for that. It's get what you can get. It's do what you need to do. You do you. And anything that would even hint at trying to call someone on something or even challenge the way things are, and try to do what's right. Well, let's face it, if someone's trying to do what's wrong, they don't want you to try to do what's right. They don't, right? Even though it's the right thing to do, and they might even know that, but it makes them look bad. It might make them look evil. And so the world just can't handle that, and so it's going to hate us. It's right. And so this is not for us to pick fights. This is not for us to be arrogant and nasty and standoffish. Not at all. That's not who we are. We are loved by God. And again, we remember Jesus interacted with people who had deep issues and who were hurting and who were, had all those things happening. And he reached out to them and he showed them his incredible love, but also his truth. Never shied away from telling the truth. And so that's what we do. And man, the world is not always going to thank us for that. I want to just prepare you for that. I want to maybe help you make sense of what's happened in the past. And you're like, man, I helped, and I got kicked in the face for it. And it's like, that's what's going to happen sometimes. But we go to God and we ask him to help us, forgive us, restore us, and renew that sense of mission, that sense of purpose that we have, that we want to make a difference, even when people don't want anything to do with us or with the Lord that we serve. All right, so I'm going to pray. You just keep going. I'm going to keep praying for you and praying for this mission, that we would just love people the way God has loved us and treat them that way, regardless of how they're going to respond. All right, you have a great day. Hit that subscribe button and share this with somebody. Talk to you next time for another follow through.